Hello, you're listening to Storytelling Saga, the podcast that shares stories. I'm your host, Allie, and this week I'm so excited to welcome comedian Eric Schwartz to the podcast. Welcome,
I'm
Eric.
your guest, Eric.
Hell yeah, so excited to have you.
Excited to be here. Thanks for having me from across the street. I just found
Absolutely.
out you're in Burbank and I'm in Studio City.
I
We
love it.
could have
Yeah.
done this together like it was 2019 before the pandemic. You know what I mean?
True. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my gosh, insane. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. So to start, Eric, I wanted to ask you about your comedic influences growing up.
Oh, growing up,
Hmm.
well, of course, my family is hilarious. And my stepfather is a Latin jazz musician who's a big performer, and so he's very funny. My mom also, she introduced me to Eddie Murphy and George Carlin, and those are some of my early like stand-up comedians that I listened to, and also Robin Williams was I used to have his lunchbox, Mork from Ork. That was my lunchbox, and then on my dad's side, and my dad is just like the sweetest, lovable guy who's also just very silly all the time. And my stepmom is like, she knows a lot about history and politics and stuff. So I was pretty well rounded. I had the silliness, I had the a little bit of the biting stuff, and then the performance from my stepfather. And he's hilarious too. He's just funny. So I would say that's a good start to my comedic influence.
That's really nice. And now, because it is like, as they always say, it's comedy, it's like from what you know, like the truth in comedy is from like the relatability of our own personal experiences and everything. So that's really nice. So
Right, and I think like other people probably had similar experiences than me, and that's why it relates.
absolutely. And I know, of course, you're big into, I was checking out some of your song parodies on YouTube. Amazing.
Oh yeah,
So,
thank you.
so would you say then like an influence was Weird Al too, with that kind of stuff?
Yeah, people say that I did a lot of parodies. I don't do them a lot anymore. I do more original songs.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, definitely an influence, but he actually wasn't that big of an influence on me, I guess. I
Oh.
just more hip hop was more of an influence on me musically, but definitely Weird Al had that template of like do parody songs, and I don't know that he has a very distinct style of parody, right? Where he's like he does this character of Weird Al. So what I was doing more like you couldn't sometimes tell if it was the real artist or me, or I was doing impressions kind of. But I notice in all the Weird Al stuff, he's Weird Al in every song. Do you know what I mean? But I'd
True.
say musically, I would say like musical comedy, I really love like Tenacious D is one of my favorites. I heard you had Sam Haft on, and he mentioned Tim Minchin, which I thought that was interesting. I don't know too much of his stuff, but I think he's what I've heard has been really really great. So yeah, a lot of people say that Weird Al thing, and it makes me go but that means you only listen to my parody stuff. So
Hmm.
there's a lot more. You're scratching the surface.
Right. Well, because I loved your the teach me I'm a dummy. That
Teach
was
me I'm a
really,
dummy. Teach
yeah,
me I'm
that's
a
really,
teach me how to Dougie.
that was too
Yeah,
funny. But so I checked out your first special from, was it from like a decade ago now at this point? You're
yeah.
listening to the blender. That was really fun too. I loved like
Thank you.
the Taylor Swift and like the Justin
Oh
Timberlake.
yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah.
That was a huge, in the actual special, I was afraid of being, like I didn't know where it was going to go. So I thought, well, if it's going to go to a network, I can't use the original track. I got to change it up a little bit. And so we changed the tune of a lot of the stuff, which I would kind of now wish we didn't, because it just that satisfying feeling, or that it's so much more satisfying to hear the original um tune with a parody. So it's a little different, but that song, the Taylor Swift parody, we were never ever actually together, was one of the biggest ones I did, and we did a really nice music video for that, and got millions and millions of views. Yahoo funded it. It was really cool.
Oh, wow. That's amazing too.
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear actually about your first time doing a set on stage. What was that like for you?
You know what? I was on a family vacation
Hmm.
and they had a cruise. I was on a cruise and they had a talent show.
Wow. Okay.
And I'd always wanted to try stand up. I was 19
Hmm.
and I was at the time, I loved radio and I wanted to be on the radio. And so I got this internship at a radio station in my hometown, Thousand Oaks, and I was on the air, and they let me do comedy on the air. They let me do like impressions and characters and fake phone calls and all that kind of stuff. Really fun. And so I had like a little bit of material and I was performing all the time, but I wanted to do stand up. So my dad actually helped me put together a little 3 minute set, and I went up and the first joke worked, the second joke bombed, and
Hmm.
the third joke killed. So
Okay.
it was I structured it right. The more risky stuff I put in the middle. I knew I had to start strong and end strong.
That's good. Yeah.
And I didn't even like know that was the way to do it. But yeah, it was good.
That's good though, at least, yeah, like end strong too. Um, so I would love to hear actually about like what would you say are kind of misconceptions about doing stand-up? Like, is it nerve-wracking for you? How do you kind of like finesse and rework, like whether it's in the moment or like, oh, that joke didn't land, so let me try to, like that kind of stuff and reconnecting with the audience.
I guess the misconceptions are based on what everyone says when you tell them you do stand up. They go, isn't that nerve wracking? Like you just said, don't you get nervous? And it's, I think, their reflection of them thinking they have to do stand up.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I think if you're going up unprepared, it can be very nerve wracking. But, this is what we do. We put all of our time and our effort and our minds and our whole beings and our whole lives into figuring out how to do this and do it successfully. So when we hit the stage, we're not nervous all the time. There's times when you get a little bit, oh, this is a different situation than I'm used to. But I think if you prepare and you kind of are confident in what you've done preparation wise, and you have fun on stage, the audience has a very much higher percentage of coming along with you. So if you're truly having fun up there, a lot of times they got to come with you most of the time.
That's true, like, because of course feeding off of the energy, then yeah, and if
Right.
you're having a
A lot
good
of
time,
times it
they'll.
doesn't even matter what you say, it's how
Okay.
you're
Hmm.
saying it. And that's the same with acting. It's the emotional life behind what you're saying that is the performance.
And that goes back to, again, like even with comedy in general, I know it's more like if you play to the truth of it rather than like trying to play the comedy of it, so to speak, then that's what will get the laugh, like the authenticity in that sense.
For sure. I mean, it's a testament to, like, we can say the same thing over and over every night and it still gets a laugh. You have to bring that experience that's behind those words, and you experience it every time you say it. It's fun. That's the fun part about it, is that you get to have that experience of like telling your emotional life behind that story or behind that bit, and have an audience give you feedback or validation about it in real time. It's pretty cool.
Nice, yeah. And then like, you're just there live, so that's nice. You get like the.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's like the tightrope act of like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I never, you can plan your set, right? But I'm never 100% thinking in my mind that I'm gonna do those jokes no matter what. I'm always open to. I used to do that, and then that I learned enough times that, like, oh, I should have addressed whatever happened in the room. I should have, I noticed that something wasn't working. I got to go a different route, and that's now I feel like I'm plugged in a little, to the room, and it's a living, breathing thing at all times that you're on stage. You don't know what's going to happen. It's like the ocean, right? You could plan to go out and catch some waves, but it's unpredictable. You might run into an obstacle and you gotta get around it.
So that's true. Like with each performance, you kind of have learned from it. So would you say for you now that it's just like kind of second nature at this point, or it's still like things that you're learning in terms of like your own comedy and
Oh,
performing?
I would never claim to not be learning.
Hmm.
That's But whenever I think I have it in the bag, that's when I bomb.
Oh, interesting.
It's
Okay. I see
weird.
what you mean.
I'd be like,
Huh.
yeah, this is my audience. I got this. You get all confident, you get all overconfident and arrogant in your
Okay.
mind almost. And I always remind myself, start from zero. You have nothing. You have to prove yourself. So yeah, I've, you bomb enough times and you learn that. You're like, oh, what's the common denominator? I thought I had this down. I didn't. It's a preparation thing.
Well, and it's true too that obviously like you always learn from failures more so than successes, so to speak, as people say. So I guess that's true too.
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
I'd love to learn from successes even too.
I know to build off of, yeah, but it's just like,
We all want that. That's the
yeah,
best. That's what we all like. I try not to fail. You know what I mean? Uh, it's so much a better feeling to succeed. But that's how you get yourself out of that failure feeling is that like, okay, you got to look at it as a success. You change your mind about it. So then you never fail, right?
absolutely. It's all about perspective too, in that sense. It's like, well, maybe this didn't work, but this did. So like whatever it is, like kind of whatever you take away
For
from it.
sure. Are you a
I like,
performer?
no, I'm a writer
You're a
actually.
writer.
So
Well,
yeah.
but
So
look, you're
like
performing on this podcast, killing it.
oh, thank you. Yeah, you know what? That is in a sense because like I'm naturally like a more introverted person. So like I kind of have
Yeah,
to like be, but I always prefer like the one-on-one conversation. That's why like for me personally, I can't even imagine like performing on stage in front of people. Like even if I'm so prepared, I'd be like, did you ever get like stage fright or you were always just like a performer, like even as a kid and stuff?
oh no, I'm sure. Yeah, I did. I've gotten it many times. Even,
Mm.
you still get it, but you know how to deal with it, right?
Okay.
Like I'll get it sometimes when I have people in the audience that I want to impress, like,
Okay.
family members or you get just different feelings. It's not like stage fright. Like I can't go out there. I'm petrified. Like even when I recorded my last special, there was a lot on my mind, and I wouldn't call it stage fright, but it's just like I did two shows in one night, and I put so many months and years actually into creating the special, and to have it all in one night, I produced it myself. I funded it. Everything that I have is in this one night.
Oh,
And
nice.
so that was, I'm so proud of that because I was able to put that aside for the time I was on stage and deliver a great performance, I feel. Um, and that I'm like just saying it now, that in itself is an accomplishment. Being able to like put your
Mhm.
whole life into one night, into basically 2 1 hours on stage, and if you don't get it, then if you don't get what you set out to get on camera,
Mm.
then you didn't get it, and all that's gone, all that's wasted. But we got it. So,
Nice. Mhm.
yeah.
See, and that's obviously a very vulnerable thing, like putting, yeah, like
Yeah,
you're
you know what? I am vulnerable. I am taking you. I'm like hearing it from you. I'm like, you know what? You're right. I should really be proud of myself.
Absolutely. Yeah. What can you share about your special, if anything, with it coming out? Like your new special, it's called Delivery, right? Your upcoming
Yeah,
special?
yeah, and that's
Hmm.
interesting. I just said deliver, but
I
yes,
know.
it is called delivery, and it has a couple of meanings. It's a rebirth, and
Okay.
also comedic delivery. The way that I deliver the jokes,
Okay.
the bits, the stuff is a lot different than you've seen. So I shot it at Avalon in Hollywood, which is known as right now an EDM venue. It's all in the past has been like it was Jerry Lewis's theater. It's there has been a lot of comedy there in the past, but right now EDM, electronic dance music. So they have 13 LED walls in the place.
Wow.
And I have been doing a video in my act. So I do stand up mixed with music now and multimedia. Okay. So I utilize these screens. I created um, a custom video presentation for their screens. So there's like kind of, I don't know how I would describe it, but like I guess like live music videos kind of. So you know, when you go to Coachella and you see those the visuals behind the performance, I kind of did that, but you know, they help me tell the story of the song. They kind of enhance the song. And then I have stuff that's just on the screen where I'm showing visual examples of things, kind of like a PowerPoint.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, this like might sound silly or whatever, but at the end of your first special, Surrender to the Blender, I loved how you had the transparency at the end where you were just like, yeah, I got the maxi pads on, kind of like, you know, stuff like that. Like that's also being like I'm sharing with you the pull back the curtains, so to speak, and like here you go.
So what you're talking about is I showed how I didn't sweat through my armpits with doing all that, because I am a big sweater. I sweat like crazy. And how did I not show it on stage in my shirt? I taped maxi pads to my arm. I literally taped maxi pads. Well, my girlfriend did it, but we taped them, and that's what kept the sweat from coming through. So since then, and this is just a free plug for this company because I use them all the time. There are these t-shirts called Thompson tees. If anyone's a performer on stage, you gotta get these. Thompson tees are these, basically it's like a t-shirt with pads in the arms. So not only is the t-shirt moisture wicking, but the pads under the arms like absorb everything. I would never sweat through, like you cannot see anything. Your whole body, you will never, the shirt might get some sweat on it, the undershirt, but it prevents all sweat from appearing on your body. And I love that because, you know, a lot of people tell me like, oh, you should wear this like high powered deodorant with tons of chemicals. And I'm like, that's not me. If you know me, I'm like natural dude. I'm not going to use that kind of stuff on my skin. Or you could get your armpits lasered. Yeah. I'd love to do that. I've already done that on my head, as you can see. But these things, they are a godsend. I love them. I want to be their spokesperson. So in my new special, I went behind the scenes and I'm like, I'm going to approach Thompson tees. I showed the camera after I did the same thing. Like you're talking about, I showed that off, but I showed it off again in my new special. I want to be the brand ambassador for, I really believe in this company and all the performers that are out there. We should be using these things.
That's honestly really good though, because that's the whole thing. You don't want the audience obviously to be distracted, like, oh, this person's sweating, you know, that's interesting. That's good.
Yeah.
See how it's evolved from that too. So who would you say like are your favorite comedians right now too?
Wow. That's a hard question. There's so many, it's like music, right? So there's so many different types of music and, you know, that you could be into. Like, how do you pick your favorite? But I got to say, somebody that helped, I guess, inspire me to shoot the special like I did was Joe Coy. I was on tour with him. I opened for him in like 6 or 7 countries.
Wow.
And this was like pre-pandemic. And it was just amazing to see these audiences that he has are just, they're just on board from the get-go. And a lot of times I would have to open cold. So I was the first person out there and they were just on board from the jump. They're just the most fun people. And you know, that's a testament to his comedy. He also inspired me to shoot the special on the scale that I did. I was going to shoot it at a club and he was like, no, you got to do it bigger. You got to like show them how you want things to be. I go, well, I don't have the money to do it. He goes, just do it. Find a way to do it. Take money out of your house. Just do it. And so I did that. And he really showed me the path to go toward what he's doing. And right now he's doing arenas all over the world. huge. Like that's like if you don't a theater is generally like, anywhere from 600 to 4,000, 5,000 seats. And then arenas can start around 5,000 and they get up to like 13, 14,000, and then stadiums are even bigger than that. He's already starting to do some of those. So, I thought if these people are on board from the jump, I have an audience that's out there and I have to create something that's just going to get me in front of them in a way that they'll never forget.
Oh, wow.
But as far as like people that I really like, there's just like everybody that I'm performing with at the Laugh Factory. There's such an inspiration to like be on stage with all these people out there. I can't even, there's like the list would be too long of people that I like right now.
Oh, nice. But that's really cool though. I guess like I can't, oh my God, like a perform for like thousands of people as opposed to like, so you have a preference in terms of like audience, like bigger crowds, or like, do you like the intimate settings, or I guess just whatever?
Oh, that's interesting. Preference, I can't really say preference because it can always be fun no matter how many people there are. A big crowd, you may not want that. I did a show with a really big crowd once that was in a gym. It was at a college and it was like, like a standard high school gym. But they didn't set it up right. They had everybody on the sides on the bleachers and I was in the middle on the end, And so everyone was at least 100 feet away from me.
Oh, wow. So how are you going to
yeah,
connect?
I'm like,
yeah.
What am I doing? So this is many years ago, but
okay,
that one didn't go well. So, and small ones can be great. I've done shows for 3 people and they're all cracking up and you're like, hey, I did it against the odds. So, I mean, yeah, I always want my shows to be packed. So I'd say sold out is the best. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. So when you're crafting a set, like how do you kind of work it in terms of like forming a narrative, so to speak, of like the arc of, okay, I'm going to start with this and end up here?
I didn't really think about it that much. I guess like when I did my first special, I didn't really think about that much. I kind of more thought about like, does this all feed back to like who I am, right? But on this one, this delivery, I did that. So, it's a birth story. There's an actual kind of like, it's almost a little bit like a musical. So there is a little bit of an arc, like the beginning. I don't want to give too much away, but there's a birth and then the end is more like what's going to be my legacy. Literally, you'll see.
Very cool. Okay, so got to talk about, of course, Helluva Boss. Let's get
yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. That's how you found me.
Yeah, of course. So I'm sure it's been exciting too, kind of getting like
it's Chaz time.
Oh, hell yeah. Getting like this new wave of fans and everything with Chaz. So I'd love to start first about asking like with your audition for the character, like did you get a character breakdown, an image, like how'd that all come about?
I got an audition from my agent. I have a voiceover agent and they send me auditions like, sometimes it gets crazy and there's like 5 of them in a week. And sometimes I haven't heard from them in a few weeks. But, every so often I get these auditions basically through email and they come with a character breakdown and a script and they go, we need this by Tuesday at noon. And you record it at home. And I recorded it right here in this room, right where I'm sitting. And the one for Chaz came in. His name was Chad when I auditioned. And sent it in. That one I remember specifically. I was like, I didn't have a lot of time because I was in the middle of something. I'm like, oh man, another one of these. I've done hundreds of them, and it's rare to get one. When you get one, it's like super exciting. So I remember I did it really fast. I just went in and I'm like, just did what I was feeling. I'm like, just bring what you're feeling right now and just go, just do it. I don't even know if I did 2 takes. I might have just done 1 take. And I sent it in. And I was like, I got that one? It's weird. I know I didn't spend a ton of time on it. And I hate to say that because maybe I'm just a douchebag shark. I don't know. Maybe that's telling something about me.
That's too funny. I think probably part of it is just like not overthinking it then. Like you're probably just like, okay,
Right.
whatever. So there you go. So that's really cool though.
And I've tried to do that on a lot of auditions since then, but I haven't gotten them. But,
All right. Well,
no, but
eventually.
you know what? It's weird. There's hundreds and thousands of, I don't know how many there are. There's a lot of voice actors. And it's so easy to get a home studio. And who knows, these casting directors, they might be, okay, if I get the first one that I get that I like, I'm going to use that one because I don't want to work. I have so much work to do. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sift through 800 auditions to find, so it might be when you send it in. I don't really know. But this one just worked out in my favor. So I'm really grateful for it.
I don't know are you by any chance a fan of Parks and Rec? I know it seems random, but
yeah, I like that show.
because I don't know if you're familiar with the character John Ralphio, because like Chaz reminds me of like John Ralphio, total like, the fuck boy, like the singing and everything, like even the hair, like just reminds me of that.
I'll have to check that guy out.
Yeah, it's too funny. But I think it's fantastic how like Chaz has like exploded in popularity. Everyone loves the
See, I don't have a frame of reference, but if you're telling me that it has exploded, then I'm gonna believe you because
I think so.
I don't have a frame because I haven't been. This is my first time part of this series, and I had not heard about it before I auditioned, but now I have watched all the episodes, and honestly, it's an amazing show. Like, it is of the highest quality. I'm so impressed with everybody that works on it. They're amazing. But so you're saying that I'm the most popular character that ever has been on there, or what?
The
No.
most popular shark.
But he's popular, right?
He is, yeah. It's so funny because I think what resonates about Chaz is that like just his sense of confidence, despite being like a fuck boy, like and being a broke ass. It's too funny, but he's got the swagger. He's just got the confidence, and it works.
I mean, look at me. Do you think that I've had the confidence all my life? I know what you want, Moxie Popsy.
It's it's fantastic.
I can have swag when I need to. I choose not to. I choose to just be normal, a normal human being, just so others feel comfortable. I want others to have, I have a heart. That's the difference between me and Chaz, is I have a heart. And I want others to have their confidence, so I play mine down a little bit. I could be roaming these streets like, yeah, I know what you want, police officer.
See, that's why. See, Chaz is just about, going to pleasure lands. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, I think you're calling me out. Well, I got 2 tickets to Pleasureland. That's my favorite line in the song, by the way.
It's like so great. I'm like, there you go, because it's 2 tickets for him and Moxie. Well, he tries Moxie, then he tries Millie, which doesn't work out. He ends up in bed with Blitz. So there you go.
Hey, it's a numbers game.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's just like voiceover auditions. You do enough, you get one. That's fair. The numbers game.
That's too funny. Well, you know what? So I rewatched the episode this morning, and like he says a line about like I fuck like half the people in any given room.
Yeah,
so
right.
For him,
I usually sleep with half the people, or bone. What does he say? I've usually boned half the people of any room I'm in, something like that.
It's just so funny. Oh my gosh. I know a lot of people though. So like we got the whole backstory with him and Moxie. I know a lot of people want to see the backstory with him and Millie. So hopefully we'll see that. I
hope so.
Point. Yeah, because she was really pissed. So obviously he must have really done her.
Well, and I'm not making this. I see. I don't write the show. I don't know where the show's going. But when we did a live stream, watch party. For that episode, and I don't know how much of it got seen because the stream was really bad. But Viv did say that on camera that she wanted to do an episode, or she wanted to explore the backstory between Chaz and Millie, and that they would bring me back to do that. We'll see what happens. So
good. A little tease. That sounds exciting though.
Yeah.
Because Chaz is so interesting because like he's weirdly, to me, he's like both self-aware yet also clueless to how, I don't know, because like he's self-aware in the sense I love the line where he says like the junk in the trunk, and then immediately like, oh damn it, that wasn't a good one. Like he knows, like it's too
You
funny.
ain't the only junk in my trunk. Oh, that was not a good one.
I love that. That's too funny.
So he knows that wasn't a good joke.
And yet though, he in his eyes, he thinks he's so irresistible. Like when he's like supposedly thinks he's seducing Moxie, and then he's like why isn't this working? Like, come on, you know. So that's interesting though.
I have a friend like that, that he's so confident, and you're like, what is this guy doing? You're like, as he's my friend, right? But back in the day, he would, you know, go out and try to meet somebody, right? And the things that he was doing, you'd be like, what is this guy doing? But like sometimes it would work, and you'd be like, what? I'm an idiot. Like he would be dancing with somebody at like a hip hop place, right? There's like hip hops on the, and everyone's moving like, you know, doing hip hop moves and everything. He's out there swing dancing to hip hop, spinning the girl around. Like you're like,
wow,
dude, this looks so dumb.
interesting.
And that girl would go home with him. You'd be like, what? Like, what are you doing when you spin him around? Is it like scattering their brain to thinking that that's cool and that they like? You're like,
oh my god, that's so
what?
funny. A weird endorphin rush somehow. That's like, yeah.
I think that's what it is. It's the confidence that you would have the balls to go out there on a dance floor where you don't fit in. Your moves are not fitting in, and you don't care. That is probably the confident. That's what's the seduction.
Honestly, that is like
Confident.
respect to that. That's fascinating.
Hell yeah.
It's a numbers game though, so sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
That's what my friends used to say, like in college and like high school. They're like, yeah, man, it's a numbers game. I'm like, all right.
Like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. So with Chaz, okay, so I'd love to hear about actually the process of recording the song. So like, do you get a demo, and like how does that work with working with Sam Haft and everything with that?
Yeah. So Sam, yeah, I did have his demo, which is actually the version that you can hear on like Spotify and Instagram stories. So that's his version. So that's the demo that I got. I don't know if that was a demo or that was like his finished. I don't know what they would call that, but that's the version that I got. And so if you listen to it on the show, you hear my voice. If you listen to it on Spotify, that's his voice. I don't know if they're planning to release the one that I did, but yeah, that's how they sent it to me. I don't know how long before they sent it. I don't remember how long they sent it before, but we just went in the studio when I was doing my voiceover audition, my voiceover, doing all the voice stuff. We just did one session, and it was me and an engineer in the studio. And then on a video screen was Richard and Viv. And then in my ear, I could hear Sam. So Sam was kind of coaching me through singing it. And, you know, we did a lot of ad libs, and they used some of them. I think at the end, the whole thing, like, don't look at me. And when I go, I'm finished, I think that was ad libbed. And then the one part where I go, I see you looking at me, looking at you, wondering when I'm gonna crack you open like a walnut. And I'm feeling what you're feeling, and I'm feeling that you're feeling, you want to feel me. You feel me? That's what the line was supposed to be. But I can't remember if I have consciously changed that. I've said before that I made a mistake and I just went with it. But I might have consciously changed that and practiced it. I don't remember. But I stumble on that line, and they kept that in there. I go, now I'm feeling what you're feeling, and I'm feeling you feel me? Saxophone. Like, I thought that worked for his character because he's this idiot of like, he thinks he's super cool, but he's just an idiot. And I thought that showed that really well. He can't even sing his own song right.
I do love that because you do see it in the animation. Like he looks up for a second, like yeah, this is working. Like it's too funny. Oh my gosh, I love that. It's too hilarious.
That song I love when I get auditions for roles that sing, because that's one of my I feel it's one of my strengths because I've done so many musical comedy pieces that that's my jam, basically. Let's just
Nice.
say that.
I have to tell you, I loved your, oh my God, what was it? Your Justin Timberlake was funny
Oh,
when you're, yeah, that was fantastic too.
are you talking about the in the special?
Yes, yeah, that just reminded me of that because now I'm thinking like it's like kind of similar. I could see the influence maybe with Chaz in there, I think.
I do a different version of it in my new special. I do like kind
Oh,
of the
nice.
continuation of that. So the reason I started doing an impression of Justin Timberlake is because after every single show, people were coming up to me and saying, "You remind me of Justin Timberlake. You sound exactly like him, even when you talk." And so I'm like, I got to do an impression of him. If this many people that don't know each other keep telling me this, I got to just do an impression of him. And I started doing it. And actually, Jessica Biel's parents were at one of my shows just randomly once,
Wow.
and I met them, and they were the nicest people. And they go, "We're going to tell Justin about you." I don't know if they did,
Oh,
um, but yeah, I really look up to him. He's so super, super talented in different disciplines. That's what I love. He's a great actor, obviously a great singer, great dancer, and he's funny.
yeah. Because on SNL, that's like all classic stuff too. So I think you mentioned that like the Dick in the Box, and that was
Oh, and in my special, yeah.
yeah. But also, I wanted to mention, with Chaz, I wanted to mention, so because like he ends up like poor Chaz just at the end, just Crimson just finished him off though. But oh my
Kills him.
God, like ruthless, freaking ruthless. But what I find unique about Chaz actually is that without him, there's a good chance Moxie might not have met Blitz because they went on that heist and he left Moxie to like, he ended up in prison. That's why he met Blitz. So I do find that interesting too, actually. That he's kind
Yeah,
of
I thought that was
connected.
like,
Yeah.
even though you hate Chaz, he's kind of indirectly the reason that Moxie and Blitz met up. And then I guess ultimately, I don't know how did Millie and Moxie meet?
I know, I guess
Through work?
I probably we haven't seen that yet on the show as far
Yeah.
as like yeah, so I guess we'll
So
see eventually.
we could maybe presume that that's how he met the love of his life
Yeah. So it works
eventually.
out.
We
So
could
if like
think
the
that. We don't, I don't know. I'm not putting anything out there. I'm just like, huh, interesting.
took that fuck boy step to get there. Oh gosh, that's
Fuck
too
boy to luck boy. From fuck boy
oh,
to
I
luck
like
boy.
that's fantastic. And I also I love the part too when Chaz is upset that like the chairs aren't filled and then all the dildos pop up
Oh,
and
that's hilarious.
that's so funny. He's like, yeah, no, it's like fuck yes, that's
The
great.
timing of how they cut that,
Oh
the
my
timing
God.
is so perfect.
So funny. And then I know, of course, you also showcase a lot of amazing, incredible fan art of Chaz, which is people are so talented. That's really cool too.
Yeah, I started a show, a live stream show called Who Fanarted, which, when you see it written, it looks like something else. And it gets your interest, and you're like, "What? Who the? Oh, fan art. What's fan art? Fan art? Oh, fan art. And it's perfect because it actually describes what it is." So I was just so impressed with everybody making fan art. I've never had that really in that on that scale. I've had other little fan arts here and there for me, and I'm just like, it was an explosion for Chaz, and I was like, "Wow, this is," and they're good. They're
Yeah.
really good. I'm blown away by these these artists. I truly am like, because I've tried to draw before. I can't draw like that. There, a lot of them are like could easily be on the show, in my opinion. And so I was like, how do I show these people that I appreciate it, and let's keep Chaz alive through the art, right? And so I started this live stream where I'm showing off the work. I'm showing off their work and appreciating them. And also, I'm kind of like trying new things. This week, I'm doing my first guest, and Morgana Ignis is going to be on my show. She plays Sally Mae on Helluva Boss, and somebody drew a fan art of us together, of our characters together. So I was like, hey, I'm going to ask her if she will go on the show, and she said yes. So I've now put out like a prompt for the artist to create some mashups for Chaz and Sally Mae. And then somebody had this theory like, ooh, what if that's why Millie is so mad at Chaz is because
Oh.
he fucked her sister? I don't know, maybe. That would be a great
Oh,
storyline,
that's
right?
interesting. I like that. Oh, see, I love everyone with like the deep fan theories and stuff and like interesting
Yeah.
character interactions. That's really cool. I like that.
And then yeah, so we're gonna do that on Tuesday. And then I'm thinking on the next Tuesday I'm gonna do there's a group that does dubs in Spanish of Helluva Boss.
Oh,
They're really nice. I've talked to them. Um and they're gonna come on the show the next week. So I'm gonna do interviews with other people and and also and mix it with the fan art and like kind of inspire prompts, like themes for the fan art um, in the upcoming weeks. So you can suggest a theme. You know what I mean?
that's really cool. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I know also you do, of course, like the signings. I'm gonna like save up to get a print. What's
Huh.
been like the craziest thing people ask you to sign from like the Chaz prints?
Oh well, that kind of just started. So Streamily is the company that does these signings.
Mm.
So it's like a live stream signing. They make the prints, they send them to us, and then we sign. People can buy them on their website, and then we sign them, and they mail them out. So oh, you mean the craziest like phrase that people wanted
Yeah.
me to sign on their print? Man, there was some. I almost didn't feel comfortable writing some of them because that's what they wanted, but some of them were way too long. Like
Oh,
maybe one or two were so long that I'm like, this won't fit on. I'm supposed to write all this on a. It's gonna look terrible, but I guess that's what they want. And some of them are really dirty. A couple of them were so dirty, and I'm like, I just hope no one thinks that it's me writing this on somebody's like. I mean, I did write "I got a big dick" on a lot of them,
well,
but
that's
that's
Chaz.
that's
Like
a now a famous Chaz phrase. So it's
that's
not me
just
trying to like show off my dick on somebody's autograph.
that's too funny. Oh my God. Well, that's just Chaz.
I think
So
I put the ones that were really racy. I put them in quotes.
okay, like this is exactly, yeah.
Yeah, like this is what you wanted on your
Like if it's
your.
not an actual Chaz quote, then
Yeah,
like
there were some
okay.
where they're like, I don't remember what they exactly were, but it's like,
Mm.
"You're my little fuck toy. I want to bang you."
Well,
Love Eric Schwartz.
oh gosh,
You know,
that's too funny. Oh gosh.
I'm like, I didn't say that. Don't attribute that to me.
Right. Oh my gosh. Okay, so despite all of this craziness though, so as we're gonna be wrapping up, so I just love to hear what has been like kind of the best piece of advice you've been given, just like life advice or just anything in general.
Hmm. Well, I would say there's a book that has
Mm.
really influenced me and given me countless pieces of advice, and it's called The Artist's Way.
Oh,
For
okay.
anybody who's an artist, I would recommend it. I do recommend it to everybody. Very few people actually uh, buy it or use it and actually do the book. But it's not a book that you just read. You actually do a lot of exercises with it. So there's a lot of writing prompts, and it helps you mine your past and unblock your creativity. It's a spiritual guide to creative freedom. And while you don't need to like believe in a certain god or anything, it's not religious at all. It's more like it asks you to believe that creativity comes from somewhere else, that you don't have to put the burden on yourself. So I think about that, where that takes a lot of pressure off of you as the artist, where you're just a conduit. I heard Pharrell Williams, the producer, NERD and the Neptunes and all that. He said something that's very similar to that. I've seen a clip of it going around of like, these ideas are, you don't come up with them. You're just checking them out like a library. And if you don't do something with that, it's going to evaporate. So these books or these ideas that come to you, that's your job, is to like keep checking out these books and like utilizing them. And to people ask me like, how do you come up with that for something? They'll say, how did you come up with that? I go, I don't come up with it. It comes up with me. So I would say the artist's way has taught me a lot about how to be an artist, really.
That sounds really That's an interesting perspective. I like that a lot. That's really cool. I'll have to check that out. The Artist's Way. Really cool. So then
Yeah.
just also, do you have any advice for aspiring comedians specifically?
Well, any artist, I would say check out that book. Check out the Four Agreements. That's a good one too. Um, for any artist, really, just keep learning, keep getting up on stage, keep writing. Whatever your art is, you have to practice it. You're an athlete. You have to work out. You have to, you know, you have to fail. And you have to succeed too. So, that success really ups your confidence. And yeah, you have to just do the work, just exercise, do your exercise. Like if I'm coaching an athlete, it would be the same advice, except do it with your creativity.
Nice. Well said. Okay, so as we're wrapping up, let's do a few rapid fire questions. Ready?
Ooh, yeah, hit me.
Okay.
First thing that comes to my head. Oops, better not
Yes.
say anything wrong.
Favorite place you visited?
Oh, Australia. I went there with Joe Coy. And there's so many other places, but Australia I want to go back there so bad.
Nice. Amazing. So what's a place you'd love to visit someday that you haven't yet?
Israel.
Oh,
It's
nice.
long overdue.
Very
And
cool.
I would just like to what's the opposite of a shout out?
Huh.
Um
Whisper in?
I would like to mention,
Hmm.
because it's not a shout out. I'm not praising them. I don't want to say their name because I don't want to mess them up. But there was this organization that brings people over to Israel. If you're Jewish, they will bring you over for free because they want to encourage travel to Israel. It's not Birthright. It's not, that's the most famous one. There's another one. They asked if they could use my song for their Hanukkah video. And I said, yeah, sure. I go, you don't have to, they say, we can't pay you anything. I go, that's fine. Just if it blows up and it gets like 1 million views, consider bringing me over, because that's what you do. You bring Jewish people over that wouldn't normally be able to go or whatever. And they go, and then they agreed to that, and then the video did go over 1 million, and they didn't they didn't bring me over.
Oh.
So, but I would like to go. I just want to go over there. No shame to them. They forgot they said it. We forgive, we forget. Well, I guess I didn't forget, but we forgive, and we move on, and we give them all the blessings for doing the work they do. All right.
Nice.
I've come to terms with it.
That's good.
Right
Okay.
here, live on your podcast.
Good. I'm glad.
Sorry, I slowed down your rapid fire.
You're good. All good. Go to comfort food.
Oh, carrots. No, go to cookies.
Oh.
I gotta avoid them. And my girlfriend, she is the best cook and baker, and I think sometimes she does it just to tempt me and to see what I'm made of.
Oh, nice.
She makes these sweets that are like, oh, come on, why?
Like chocolate chip, all different kinds.
Man, and then she makes like mochi cake
Ooh.
and like lemon bars. And they're the best ones you've ever. Okay, she never made key lime pie ever, and I told her I like key lime pie. There's this comedy club in Florida that makes it. That's like the best I've ever had. She goes, "Oh, let me try to make that for you." First time, blows it out of the park.
Oh,
Best one
nice.
I've ever had.
Oh, very nice. Amazing. Let's see. Go to karaoke song.
Oh, come on, baby. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. I got the secret I've been hiding under my skin, to keep me alive. Oh, let me hit one of the somewhere to hide. I am the I am, I forgot the words. I need them scream. I am the modern man. Secret, I've got a secret. It's the best.
It's too funny. Oh my God.
And it's long, and then people go, what is this song? I've never heard, a lot of people haven't heard the song, but then they see me just killing that song, and they go, what? I love this song.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. Movie you've seen the most times.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, classic. Oh my gosh.
I've watched it. Maybe, I just noticed like, well, I don't really watch movies over and over again, but that one I did. Getting a little too old. Because I did the Kip impression.
Yes.
Like come down here and see what happens when you try to hit me, Napoleon. Ow. I did a
So,
parody song of just a little bit like by 50 Cent called All the World Really Needs Is a Little Camp.
oh my gosh, I love that. That movie's so quotable, amazing. That's so good.
It's really great.
Latest book you've read or are currently reading?
Oh, guess what? I'm about to read. I haven't read it, but the follow-up to The Artist's Way, and it's called, I just got it. It's
Oh,
called Writing for Life or something like that. But it's like
oh,
a shortened version of The Artist's Way that you can do it in 6 weeks instead of 12. And it
okay.
helps you like really high power through one goal. I haven't read one word of it yet, but I also just listened to the YouTube Formula by Daryl Eves
Hmm.
on Audible.
Oh, very cool.
I'm trying to learn more about YouTube.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Because obviously that's like so much. I mean, Helluva Boss on YouTube. So yeah.
That and also one of the places I'm considering putting my special is YouTube.
Oh,
So I want to learn
nice.
as much as I can about it. So I don't know. There's YouTube has become really great for comedy specials right now. So it's a really great option. So
I
we're
know.
gonna shop it around to some networks and we're gonna see what happens.
Oh, very exciting. Because I know like Bo Burnham has like his inside like outtakes on there and stuff like that. He has like
Oh
a
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's I haven't seen it. I gotta check it out. And what from years ago, but yeah. Okay, so TV show you're currently watching.
Oh, I don't really. I'm trying to watch Beef.
I have to check that out too. I hear it's
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
I've only watched like part of the first episode, but I'm gonna try to watch that. I don't have a current TV show really. I'm available.
There you go.
They're like
Um,
relationships, right?
that's true too. Yeah, you're right. It's like I don't know if I'm feeling
You're
this,
like, hey,
whatever.
do you
Yeah.
want to watch Barry?
Going
No,
on.
I'm already watching Game of Thrones. I can't. I don't. I don't want a two time.
That's too funny. Oh my gosh. And last one is describe yourself in one word.
That's hard. I got a big dick. No,
The hyphens in there.
that's too many words. Um, I will say, don't hold me to this, but I'll just say creative.
Nice. Amazing. It's been such an absolute pleasure chatting with you, Eric. Please let everyone know
Yes,
they can.
likewise, Allison.
Thanks so much. Let everyone know where they can find you on social media and anything else you'd like to promote.
Okay, well, my website, ericschwartzlive.com. You can find all my social media through there, and you can find my tour dates. I tour pretty constantly, so hopefully I'll be coming to your place, to your city. And if I'm not, get on my email list called Schwartz Force, and then I'll be able to let you know when I'm in your area. Instagram, Eric Schwartz with 3 E's, EEERICSCHWARTZ. I pronounce it Eric Schwartz, like I'm scratching it. And youtube.com/Eric Schwartz, Twitter, Eric Schwartz, and Facebook, Eric Schwartz. TikTok, Eric Schwartz with 3 E's again.
Perfect. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. And just, one last Chaz, like, Chaz.
A little, should it take you out with a little Chaz?
Oh yeah, please.
Okay. Wow. Whoa, whoa, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's Chaz time.
Beautiful. Oh my
Foxy,
God.
feeling foxy. Got a good piece of your boxy. Well, I got 2 tickets to Pleasureland. Oh, baby.
I love it. Amazing. Oh my God.
Sam Haft wrote it. Sam Haft.
Fantastic. Oh, that was wonderful. Thanks so much for your time, Eric. I really
Thank
appreciate it.
you. That was fun.
And with that, that's going to conclude this week's episode of Storytelling Saga. Be sure to check out storytellingsaga.com for all places to listen and where to follow on social media. And as always, feel free to send me any questions, comments, or writing prompts by emailing me at storytellingsaga@gmail.com. Next episode, I thought I would talk about the portrayal of writers on screen. Until then, thank you for listening, and remember, write what you love.